You know, I normally, when I talk about Catholic Charities and I talk about the what. But kind of playing off what Father said, I've sort of changed up, and I think I'm going to talk more about the why tonight. You know, Catholic Charities is a great big organization. We are, overall, we have about a $40 million budget. We have 450 employees. We have one division that's called Archdiocesan Housing, and we have 26 operating apartment buildings. And number 27 is under construction, and we just bought land for number 28 in the Glenwood Springs area. And we're now about to start a partnership with the city where we're going to start rolling over affordable housing that's coming to the term of its contract and can now be flipped over into for-profit rentals. And the city has a huge need for affordable housing, right? And we see that every day. So we're really trying to work on that as an opportunity to maintain affordable housing and to do it as a partnership between the church and the city, which if you've been reading papers, you listen to the radio, that doesn't work really good anymore, or it hasn't been. But there's no reason why it can't. And the beautiful thing is we've had some great conversations with the city, and we're moving down a path that I think is going to provide a lot of fruit, which is a great thing. Mayor Hancock and his staff have been really helpful for us in a number of different areas. So we're really excited about that. On the other side, so that's about $17 million. On the other side, we have about $23 million in expenses, right, and that we spend on the charity side. And we break that down into basically three big pies: housing and shelter, women's services, family and child care. Okay, and then we wrap around that emergency services, emergency assistance, immigration assistance, and counseling. And we have actually somebody from our Regina Chile, Katie Biller's in the back. Kate is one of our counselors at Regina Chile, which is a growing program that does both counseling services and provides postdoc, people who have finished their studies and now need their final clinical hours, and people who have finished their master's studies and need final clinical hours in order to get their final certification. So we do both counseling and training for our counselors. And that kind of wraps up, in a very big way, Catholic Charities. And I could sit here and talk to you for hours about what we do at Catholic Charities. Each one of those things has a multitude of different services. So what I want to do tonight is challenge you guys a little bit. Talk about where you come into the mix. Today's readings, which are very convenient for us because it leads right into what I want to talk to you about, was from Matthew. And I just want to read you this little bit. You guys already heard this. I know you were all at Mass this morning. But as a reminder of what it said, let me just bring this back to you. It was from Matthew 12:46 to 50. Well, Jesus was speaking to the crowds. His mother and his brothers appeared outside, wishing to speak with him. Someone told him, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside, asking to speak with you." But he said, "Who is my mother, and who are my brothers?" And stretching out his hand towards the disciples, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my heavenly Father is my brother and sister and mother." Whoever does the will of my heavenly Father is my brother, my sister, and my mother. Now, you guys are to be commended because you're here, okay? You know, when I think about what that means, and I think about what that little, that reading of the gospel means, and then I think back about where I was at your age. You know, I couldn't answer the couple of questions that I tend to bring with these things. I couldn't really talk about who I was in terms of my faith. You know, my son is actually here tonight, Colin, who's becoming a focused missionary, and a lot of you guys I know. Most of you don't know my story, but you know, I had a lot of success as a young guy. I was in the early stages of cable, and it was kind of a run and gun thing. You would take phone calls for new jobs once a year, and you would just, new networks were launching every year, and all you had to do was stand by the phone and show up at a convention, and you'd get another job offer. Right? And it was just a really amazing time. All the new networks were launching, and it was really crazy. And I went through this, and I look at you today, and I think, I couldn't have been in this room back then. I drank too much, I worked too much, I traveled constantly. I was a young father, I was starting my family. Did I spend enough time on what my real vocation was as a father? I have to tell you, I probably failed. Now, it's hard to say that when your son is sitting there. Right? But someday you're going to be standing in front of a crowd and you're going to have to deal with the exact same issue. But hopefully, because of where you are now, you'll have a different answer. You won't say, "I failed in my early days." of being a father. Now, it's not that I didn't provide food and shelter and clothing and all that stuff, and it's not that I didn't coach baseball, or, well, I really wasn't very good at baseball, but I did coach soccer and I did coach basketball. I mean, I was there, but was I really conscious? Was I living in my faith? Was Jesus the primary motivating factor in my life? I'd have to say no. And I gotta tell you, that's the biggest mistake I made, is when I began to realize and understand that it's Jesus Christ that it should be the motivating factor in everything that you do. You know, the one thing I didn't realize until I got to charities, it's the little things. It's the butterfly effect. Right? Does everybody know what the butterfly effect is? Right? Butterfly flaps its wings, and that wind that it generates, as it travels across the globe, builds and builds and builds until it creates a torrent, a typhoon on the other side of the world. Right? Mother Teresa said, somebody said, Mother Teresa, don't you think you're just like a drop of water in a bucket, or I'm going to get the quote wrong, but you get the idea. A drop of water in the ocean. He said, isn't that meaningless? I mean, one more drop than was there yesterday. Right? She helped one person at a time. How are you doing it? How are you being charitable? Who do you trust? Think about that for a second. Who do you trust? What do you really think about when you think about charity? Do you trust your phone ring, for example? I put the right name in there and that it's going to be the right person when they answer, that I'm not going to answer? Who do you trust? How do you bring that trust into your life with other people? If you're not trusting Jesus Christ to lead your life, you're going to get off track. Right? I can't tell you anything more important than that. And if you ever want to know how I know that, you just give me a call. You come down to my office and I'll spend an hour explaining to you what we really do. And then I'll take you down to Samaritan House and Holy Rosary Shelter, and I'll introduce you to some women who, as I talk about it, I'll start crying. Because they've been so abused, Nobody ever cared about them. Who reached out and touched those women's lives? What about their children? What about their mother and their father? Whenever you see pornography, do you ever wonder who's the mother of the people, in that video? Because they have a mother and father. And they may have a brother and a sister. Maybe they have little brothers and sisters who are really good kids, and then they saw that because that young woman was abused and didn't know what to do, and so she wound up there. Who reached out and provided her with charity? Who reached out and loved her? Who was doing the will of the Father so that they could be the brother and the sister and the mother of Jesus Christ? Because that's what we do at Catholic Charities. Now, why do we do that? We do that because we honor Jesus Christ. And we show our love of Jesus Christ when we help each other out. It can be as simple as listening to someone cry on your shoulder about a breakup that they're experiencing and not blowing them off. It can be as simple as not gossiping about something that someone did at the office. Think about that. Think how easy it is to gossip about something somebody did at the office. Right? I'm trying to bring this down to you so that you understand charity is a part of your life no matter what you did. I never realized that, guys. I went through my career and I worked really hard and I became very successful. And then I got so successful that I thought it was all because of me. And then I went out and started my own businesses and realized it wasn't because of me. I wasn't so successful. And then I drank too much. I became an alcoholic. I lost all my money. And I woke up one day and said, wow, I wanted to kill myself. And I almost did. But I didn't. You know why? Because that guy right there. Because I was a dad. Because of Jesus Christ. And he said, whoa, big boy. Hold on there. It's not all lost. And my faith surged up in me, and I was reborn a new man. And I realized what my responsibilities were. And now it really got hard because I had to say, whoa, I did all this stuff, I lost all this stuff, and now I've got to stand up and be a man with all that baggage. That is not a day you guys want to experience. So think about it. Bring Jesus into your life now. And be constant with it throughout your lives. With your spouse, pray the rosary. Pray every day with your partner before you get married to make sure that you guys are on the same page. Don't listen to the noise in the media. And listen, I can talk to you about it. I used to do those contracts. I know more about it than I care to. I negotiated with studios, and I negotiated with, NBC. I was the fourth employee of NBC. CNBC, not NBC. CNBC. Right? I mean, I was there. I did a lot of really interesting stuff. And I would throw it all away just to have my faith be an instrumental, foundational part of my life from the first day I got married. How do you, if you're a warrior, are you a warrior for Jesus Christ? Because you better be today, guys, because I got to tell you, what's happening out there, you're going to grow up with, and it's scary. It's really scary. You know, when I was a young man, I was in, from 88 to 93 or so, I lived in New York City, and AIDS was just coming to the forefront, and I had good friends that were dying of it. They had nobody knew how to, deal with it. I mean, these are people I know, and nobody came out as being gay, right? That was, and I had friends all of a sudden that were 250 pounds, 6'4", who I saw him, 1 month, and 4 months later I saw him, and he was still 6'4", but he weighed 150 pounds. And he died a month after that. And that was happening like crazy in the entertainment industry, right? What was happening? Nobody knew. Now, we didn't have the same threat against us as you guys do in terms of religious freedom. I mean, think about your two potential presidential candidates. I mean, really. I voted since I was 18. I don't know who to, I certainly can't vote for one because, she's about as anti-life as any human being I know. And the other, you might as well vote for, a poster. Narcissism poster or something. I don't know. But that's your choice, Larry. So you got to think about that. And if you're not going to be engaged, if you're not going to bring your faith into the public square, if you're not going to be a warrior for Jesus Christ, we're not going to win the world back. That's you. You are the generation that's going to have to turn this. And congratulations, you're here tonight. You're one of the few. How are you going to bring other people into the circle? How do you witness your faith every day?